Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. It's the current time of 10:35 a.m. on the Eastern Time on May 29th on Monday. Hope you guys have a good Memorial weekend, and also, today's a U.S. holiday. Respect to Ethereum, $100,888, that about 1.16% so far. On the overall crypto market, as you can see on the left side of the chart, both Bitcoin and Ethereum are currently down about 1%. I would just say that we are normalizing from the previous surge that we've seen. Obviously, this green candle, and this is more of like a holiday weekend affectation that we've been talking about. And with respect to the altcoins of the house, it's a little bit more mixed bag. If you look at it across the spectrum, look at that from the ranking of the highest percentage to the lowest percentage. The highest is like up 1.5%. The lowest is down about 6-7%, which is more its own micro affectation. Obviously, today is the holiday in the U.S., so the market is not open today, which we can talk about this on more of a foreshadow perspective. So let's take a look at the coins together, shall we? With respect to Ethereum, it's currently at 1894, which is basically lingering around 1900. We saw like the open of 1909, but we know that 1900 is actually not a level. 1950 is not a level either. 2050 is actually a real level based on the current technical analysis, right? So right now you could see that we are $6 below a non-substance resistance level, and the level that logically where we need to go down to is 1850, right? And what are the probability that it actually goes down rather than keep going up from here? I'll say the probability actually going down is a little bit higher than the other way, right? Firstly, on our side, we are at the relatively high on the mid level at 57 out of 70. We are having this separation right now. The weekly, you could see that we are also forming a mega death cross that's about to be crossing momentarily at the relatively high level as well, 57 out of 70. So seeing it come down to like again 1850, 1750, the bottom technically 1650 would not be a surprise for us. And as we get over this hump, right, we will ideally see a good reversal. Look, you could see that with respect to the whale hump is relatively big, right? We have been crossed down for a long time, right, since March 2022. And ever since then, we have been deeply submerged, and we have been pretty much dead, right, at 40 out of 70 on a monthly perspective. So, reversing is definitely a necessity for us to keep going from here. So right now you can see that the daily, weekly are both muted, but the monthly it is looking bullish, but obviously months away, right? So we do need to see some sort of a correction ahead just to cross down before we cross up, right? Because daily it is looking quite bearish, right? Also on the weekly it is also looking bearish because of the cross section that needs to be formed. On the Bitcoin side of the equation, you could see that it's quite similar, right? You could see that with respect to the cross section, it is forming right closely at 57 out of 70. Daily looking like with this large separations of cross, right? So you could see that the green candle has been formed and at 28,000, which is not a real level, right? 28,500 is a real level, which we got to briefly, but we got canceled out immediately. So at 54 out of 70, it's not the best level to be getting in, knowing the fact that we are on the opposite side of the spectrum. Weekly, it is also looking bearish. So I'll say it's a similar momentum that you're seeing between Ethereum and Bitcoin, relatively speaking. And then on the index front, before we wrap up, I would say monthly it is looking quite bullish actually, but weekly it is a little bit extended, unfortunately, right at the 61 out of 70 large separation. And also on a daily, it is looking like we're crossing up, but we are going to get rejected as we approach the 60 mark. And also at the same time, we are at the resistance level of 420 on the SPY front. So too fast, too quick at the moment. We do need to kind of see a correction. So buying at this level right now is actually not ideal on a stock perspective. We have been running for a little bit across the whole market actually. but is it long lasting, right? It needs to happen progressively. And I would say at the moment right now, despite it looks like a reverse head and shoulder, which is true, right? We have a head and this is a shoulder and a secondary shoulder right here at 375. It's not sustainable because of we are heading to a cross a blockade at 422 soon. At the same time, we are seeing this you know um, gap, relatively speaking, as 60 out of 70. So excuse me. So it's not looking like the best setup on a risk perspective on daily and weekly. So I don't suggest getting in at the moment. I'll wait off a little bit until we correct back down, until the whole entire market chart, daily, weekly, and monthly, all look something like this, right? About to take off and cross up from there. And also at the same time, I don't quite like it on the monthly. You can see that we are at the relatively high level of 56 out of 70. Ideally more lower, right, at the 40. So it is, again, a little bit too fast, too quick, which is not appetizing for me in a risk perspective. Okay, so appreciate you for joining me today as a quicker one than usual. Altcoin side of the house is also trading similarly, but hope you guys have a good long holidays, a good whatever weekend. Obviously, on the other side of the world in Asia, other parts of the world, you guys don't really have this holiday, but for the ones in the US, have a good time, and for those in the other parts of the world, have a good rest of the day. And don't work too hard, or just have some good work life balance. Anyways, but appreciate you. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.